Right now, I want you to take a good look at your life and really think about it. You have the power to beat this, to get the results you seek, to accomplish the things you've always dreamed of. You can tackle difficult challenges and do extraordinary things. You have the ability to overcome every obstacle in your way and reach your ultimate goals. But honestly, most of you are probably not living with that mindset right now. Imagine life as a territory on a map somewhere you want to be. You need to navigate to that place, but for now, you're stuck here, not there. So, what needs to change to get you from where you are now to where you want to be? The answer is right there in that question. You need change. More than that, you need a real transformation. That means becoming someone you've never been before. A lot of people resist this truth because they want the results of discipline without putting in the effort to change who they are. Most folks want the confidence that comes with taking risks, but prefer to stay within their comfort zones. They desire executive-level success but keep procrastinating. It doesn't work that way. Real, meaningful change isn't about tweaking your daily routines or trying to boost your motivation temporarily. It's about fundamentally shifting how you see yourself and what you're willing to accept from yourself. The people who achieve legendary status do so by becoming a different, stronger version of themselves, setting new standards, adopting new habits, and thinking in ways that the old version of them would find uncomfortably even impossible. This is exactly why most transformations fail. Many people expect to feel like themselves while becoming someone new, or they believe that the new behaviors should feel natural from the start. But true greatness requires you to be comfortable with being uncomfortable long before you actually feel like the person you're striving to be. You've got to act like that person way before the feelings catch up. So here's how you can begin this transformation today. Look yourself in the mirror and say, I will change. I will transform. It's a big promise, a serious commitment, but it's necessary. Because if you truly want to become a legend, you've first got to be willing to become different than you are now. And if you can make this mental shift, you've already taken that critical first step. One of the hardest parts of making lifelong changes is just taking that first leap. If you can do that, you've come a long way. Think about someone like Alexander, the greatest orator in ancient Greece. He wasn't born great. In fact, he started life with significant handicaps. Alexander was born with a severe speech impediment, stuttered, and couldn't produce sounds easily. When he first tried to speak in front of the Athenian assembly as a young man, he was ridiculed, laughed at, and humiliated. Can you imagine? The day you stand up in front of people, trembling, reaching for that prize you've dreamed of, and you fail spectacularly. People laugh, poke fun, and then tell everyone about your failure. To many, that would be the end of the road. They'd think, my life's over. I'll never recover from this. Many have quit at far lesser setbacks, but Alexander didn't give in to despair. Instead, he took that failure, stomped on it, and crushed it because that's what real dominance looks like. Instead of giving up, Alexander committed himself to rigorous training. He practiced speaking with pebbles in his mouth to strengthen his pronunciation, and even built a secret underground study to focus on practicing without distractions. He practiced relentlessly for months, long after the initial humiliation faded into history. Over time, he went from being the worst speaker in the room to a man known as the best by many. Few people realize that Alexander started off badly. But centuries later, people remember him as Greece's greatest orator and leader. When asked how he became such an outstanding speaker, Alexander credited his devotion to daily discipline, his months of isolated practice, and his systematic approach. Many thought that putting pebbles in his mouth was disgusting or beneath him, but Alexander saw it as the price he had to pay to get better, and he paid it without hesitation. He put in the work, reaping the results. Cicero once said that the most important factor in mastering speaking was practice relentlessly. If you ask Alexander, he'd tell you the same. It's practice that leads to mastery. Now, let's be clear about something. You're going to have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. To reach that level of greatness, You'll need to build your own underground cavea, dedicated space and routine for your transformation, because that's what true change demands. While real change is never easy, it might actually be simpler than you think. Let's consider a basic concept: willpower. Many people love to criticize others for their lack of willpower, but I'm going to surprise you here: your willpower is probably just fine. If you can wake up in the morning, get yourself ready, and handle your daily responsibilities, you've already passed the test. Here's another shocker: your level of assertiveness or drive is likely okay too. Did you think I was going to tell you that you need some miracle pill to increase your aggressiveness tenfold? Nope. That's not how it works. What you really need isn't more willpower or aggression, it's something bigger. You need a system. That's how you truly win. The reason is simple. Willpower and aggression depend heavily on how you feel in the moment, your mood, and your circumstances. They're unreliable. If you want to be truly dominant, you need consistency day in and day out. And that's where a solid system comes into play. Most people start their journey by aiming big, setting grand goals like becoming the strongest at the gym or landing a top-tier job. Then they rely mainly on their willpower to push through. But you can't reach this level of dominance with willpower alone. It's not enough. You need something that sustains you over years, propels you through setbacks, and helps you keep pushing even when motivation wanes. The key is a system, an organized, reliable way of working toward your goals. Real dominance means winning consistently every day, not just when you feel motivated. You've got to plan ahead, because trying to take life one day at a time often isn't enough. You need small, deliberate steps taken daily that move you closer to your dreams, regardless of your mood or energy level. Now, let's break down what it takes to build this system so you're always a step ahead. First, identify what you need to do to succeed. You must have a plan, something that makes sense in real-world terms and is realistic. Say you want to be a financial advisor, or maybe a social media star. That's your goal. Both require you to dedicate some specific time regularly. For example, becoming a financial advisor might mean studying for certification for an hour each morning, plus making a handful of prospecting calls every afternoon. On the other hand, a social media influencer might need to create and post a new piece of content daily. Simple, targeted actions, measurable and straightforward. The crucial part: you must protect these actions like your life depends on it, because, honestly, your future success depends on them. Unless an emergency comes up, say, a family member gets sick, or you have to meet jury duty, you stick to these commitments. You need to schedule and prioritize your time wisely. Look at your daily routine and see how much of it you can dedicate to your goals. I suggest around 3 hours each day if you want to seriously build dominance in your chosen area. That's enough time for focused practice, learning, and working toward mastery. But just having the time isn't enough. You've got to actually use it wisely. Take a look at the typical college student. They have cleared their schedule to focus on their classes, yet many struggle or even drop out because they're not working effectively. They had the time, but not the system to ensure they actually got things done. So your job is to create that system for yourself. That system needs to connect your daily actions to your ultimate goal and minimize obstacles. It's about making progress every single day. Now, let's get into what such a system should look like in practice. One core element is what I call non-negotiables. These are the daily actions you commit to doing no matter what, rain or shine, feeling good or bad, motivated or not. They happen because you've made them automatic, like brushing your teeth. The mistake many make is setting goals that are negotiable. I'll work an hour on my project if I feel like it. But life throws distractions, tiredness, or emotional resistance your way, and suddenly, those actions get pushed aside. But legends don't negotiate with themselves about what matters most. They show up even when they don't want to. They push on when it's inconvenient. They keep their standards high whether anyone is watching or not. That's the real difference between those who achieve their dreams and those who just talk about them. So, Start by identifying 1 or 2 key actions that will push you closest to your goal. Don't load yourself with 10 or 15. Focus on just 1 or 2 meaningful tasks. For example, as a financial advisor, that might be an hour of studying first thing in the morning and making 10 prospecting calls in the afternoon. For a social media influencer, it could be creating and posting 1 new piece of content every day. Once you've nailed down these non-negotiables, protect them as if your future depends on it. That's because it does. Usually, life throws some curveballs. Maybe someone gets hospitalized or you've got jury duty, and that's okay. You take time for those emergencies. But apart from real emergencies, you stay committed to your actions because it's how you get ahead. Now, a common pitfall with tools like to-do lists is they can become overwhelming, especially if you're not careful. You might start with good intention, checking off multiple items each day, but end up doing a lot of small tasks that don't really matter, leaving the important ones undone. The key is not just making a list, but prioritizing it. Get the most critical tasks done first, no matter what. Finally, environment plays a massive role. Your surroundings either make success easier or harder. If you want to study but your workspace is cluttered with distractions, that environment's working against you. If you want to film videos but have to spend 30 minutes just getting set up, that's also working against your goals. Successful people don't rely solely on willpower to fight against a bad environment. They design their spaces to work for them. They lay out their workout clothes the night before, set up their workspaces ahead of time, and remove unnecessary distractions from their devices or environment. These small choices make success much easier and failure more difficult. Over time, tiny environmental tweaks can create huge results, helping you become a winner. The final piece of this puzzle is tracking your progress and holding yourself accountable. Some experts believe this is the secret ingredient. When your initial system isn't perfect, which it won't be, you need to keep adjusting and improving it. That's how you refine your approach. And no one succeeds on the first try. The difference between legends and others is that legends have a protocol to get back on track when they slip, whether that's missing a day or facing setbacks. They don't spiral into guilt or give up. Instead, they have ways of bouncing back, like making sure they don't miss 2 days in a row or reviewing their week every Sunday, acknowledging what went wrong and planning how to correct it. Whatever plan you adopt, always think about how you'll handle setbacks because they're inevitable. When they happen, don't make decisions from a place of disappointment or frustration. Instead, have a clear system for recovery, whether it's a quick reset or a more deliberate review. This resilience is what separates the truly dominant from those who stumble and stay down. And remember, all of this operates through the power of compound effect. The 3 hours you spend studying or practicing each day might not seem like much on Tuesday, but after 90 days, that's over 270 hours. After a year, you're looking at more than 1,000 hours of dedicated effort. That's when your transformation really reveals itself to the world. However, don't expect overnight miracles. The process is about small, consistent actions that may not seem like much at first, but add up over time. It's about becoming someone who keeps their word, doing what they said they'd do, regardless of how they're feeling in that moment. The path from where you are now to where you want to be isn't about forcing a burst of motivation or great breakthroughs overnight. It's about embracing a transformation like Alexander, who started with nothing and became a legend by dedicating himself to relentless effort. Becoming someone extraordinary requires 3 core shifts. First, establishing non-negotiables that happen no matter what. Second, designing your environment to support your success. And third, creating systems to track progress and recover from setbacks. All these ideas boil down to a few key truths. Systems beat motivation, consistency outperforms intensity, and legends are forged through deliberate, sometimes uncomfortable practice. Your transformation begins the moment you stop delaying and start taking action. If this video helped spark change in your life, Share in the comments which strategy struck a chord with Youthy might be exactly what someone else needs to climb back to their throne. And don't forget to subscribe for more wisdom rooted in resilience and mental toughness. Like Seneca said, the willing are guided by destiny, the unwilling are dragged by it. You have the power to be the master of your own fate and to dominate if you're willing to pay the price. So, start today and become the leader you were always meant to be. The only question now is, are you willing to make the necessary changes? Because that choice is yours alone. Make it count.